Alrighty, I know I don't really make whole lot of gaming videos and all that stuff anymore, but today I kind of just wanted to more or less talk about my initial thoughts playing for roughly the first week of the new Call of Duty game. And, just keep in mind that all of this should 100% be taken with a grain of salt because I am very much so a casual enjoyer of Call of Duty, at least when they're halfway decent, and I will say so far so good. Um, I'm pretty sure most of you would probably agree that Vanguard was just a steaming dumpster fire. So, really any improvement from that is a pretty big plus. So, yeah, I didn't write anything out for this, so you guys won't know. But I think I'm just gonna take a hot second to go ahead and write out some things that I like and don't like about the game, and I will meet you guys back in a minute. Alright, quite a bit of time has passed. You guys won't know a thing, or wouldn't know a thing if I didn't bring it up. Yeah, I ended up having some work calls and everything, because for all of you that don't know, I do work from home, so had to take care of that, but I did come up with a list. So, as opposed to how most people break it down between pros and cons, I decided to have a pros, mid, and then cons list. So, the pros of the game. I'm not gonna lie, most Call of Duties have that new effect or whatever to where, you're into it for a couple weeks at a time or whatever. I'll be honest, man, by day 5, which I think is what we're on now, of Cold War and Vanguard, I was already having, at least to me, a pretty terrible fucking time. So, yeah, I mean, I'm still enjoying it. I don't have a lot of complaints. There's just, some things that would be very, very nice to see. So, hopefully we get there. But yeah, all in all, the game is still fun. I'm still having a good time. I know this one, some people are gonna put in the mid, someone put in the cons list, but for me personally, I really like how the guns are unlocked and leveled and everything in this game. I think it will promote variety at the very least at the start of the game, and we'll see. Maybe by the end, it'll be back to the same, 2 or 3 gun meta with, your outliers here and there. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. People are crutching the really good guns right now, and there are definitely guns that need a nerf, but we'll get into that later. The camo challenges, as everyone is saying, are a huge upside to this Call of Duty, mainly because yeah, there's still the annoying ass prone, crouch, mounted, all that stupid shit for the kills. Honestly, the one that annoys me the most is the point blank kills. That shit sucks, especially when you have to do it. I think it was the TAC. Yeah, I want to say it was the TAC V, which is the 308 version of the SCAR. And holy shit, dude, getting the point blanks on that was I got it relatively quick, but it's ass. It is some major ass. But yeah, the good thing about this, right, is like as opposed to say 2019 or Vanguard, for example, right, you only have to get like 15 to 20 kills, and not every single weapon that you use is going to have the camo challenges you don't enjoy. So personally, I really like that. And overall, I mean, the gunplay itself feels really good. It's just, and we'll get into it, the servers seem to be having a lot of desync, because while the guns feel good, it's super lobby dependent, and it's not, because of skill based, which again we'll touch, but yeah, if you've played the game, you probably understand what I'm saying, because I've seen quite a few Reddit posts talking about it. So anyway, now it does seem like the pros list is very short. I get that. the reason that there's so many in the mid category is these are things that, or the mid and cons will say, these are things that can be changed. So honestly, some of the cons should be in the mid section because they are things that will get changed and can be changed. But all in all, for the mid, here's some things I jotted. I mean, the maps aren't great, but they are definitely a step up over what we've had the last couple years in certain aspects, and then a little worse in others. There's two maps that I can't stand, or Tarek, however the fuck you say it, Tarak, I don't know. But the big open sandy map that's basically Grosvenor in the sand, but worse somehow. And then, you know, of course, the one that was getting memed on apparently on Twitter from what my buddy said, because personally don't use Twitter that much, but yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's the border crossing. The map is probably the worst in Call of Duty history, and it's not even close. But at least for the most part, the maps are enjoyable. I'm just still mind blown. I've been saying it since the game came out that I just can't believe that the border crossings in the game, but Museum got taken out, which from what I've heard is due to copyright, so, you know, is what it is. But I really liked the Museum map in the beta, and I don't think a lot of people did, but I definitely do feel like it was one of the stronger maps in the game, but I don't know, could just be me. I'm still really enjoying Farm 18 from the beta, so yeah. Here's kind of what I was talking about earlier. The guns feel fairly inconsistent, and what I mean by this is there's certain matches that I'll get into where I am just two bulleting and frying people, and then the very next game I will be using the same gun with the same attachments, no variation. My aim is still for the most part right where it was, and I'm dying in a bullet and a half. It's not even 2 bullets. It's like a bullet and a half. And when I say I'm 2 bulleting people, I'm not actually 2 bulleting. I'm just able to get into the gunfight, you know what I mean, and live. There have been a lot of instances, especially in the last couple days, where I will have a couple of solid matches where it seems like my guns are, you know, halfway decent. And then in the very next match, I will go to literally shooting Nerf darts. And I'm 90% certain it's the servers. And that was my next point, is that servers seem to be causing a lot of issues right now. They're stable enough to play on, but is the experience enjoyable? Not entirely. So yeah, there's that. My next point is weapons feel good, but some fall very short, and then, you know, some are too strong, aka weapon balancing, and it's always atrocious at the beginning of Call of Duty. Even in the goated CODs, it's always been an issue, and I get it. This game has like 51 guns between primary and secondary. You're gonna miss something, but that's a whole problem in and of itself. They're a big enough company to where, you know, they can do internal testing and everything else, and apparently they just don't care. Quality control at Activision just has hit an all-time low over the last couple of years, so it's not a shock to anyone. And then my final midpoint, I personally am a fan of the movement being nerfed, but I am a rushdown player. I don't sit in one area for too long. So while I think slide canceling and bunny hopping and all that shit being out of the game is a plus, now that camping is promoted, I just die from the dumbest, most bullshit angles that you could think of, and that part is super infuriating, especially after it's happened match after match after match. It isn't something that can be changed, so that's more in the cons list, but I put it in mid because I at least see an upside to it. Now with the cons list, so this one's pretty extensive. And honestly, the unfortunate thing is I'm seeing 3 things that, well, realistically 4 things that could be changed, but 3 that probably will over the course of the game. So first and foremost, there's no ranked playoff launch. With the state of the servers right now, I'm kind of happy about that, because I wouldn't want, you know, one game for it to feel like we're absolutely frying, and then the next game it feels like the entire team is just, we have Nerf guns, it's the best way I can put it, Nerf guns. Camping is a major, major, major problem, and it's a problem in every Call of Duty. You have the players that are just going to play like rats, and you learn to live with it, but when you nerf movement, it's going to promote people to be scared. Now, why are they scared? It could just be how they are, or it could be, honestly, the biggest reason, which would be playing a rushdown playstyle is just absolutely brutal in this game. And the reason for that is since, you don't have the crackheady movement anymore. Now, if you just hold pre-aims or just sit in a corner, you are far and away more rewarded this year than you have been in the last couple years. So it is a huge, huge problem, but we'll adapt, we'll get better. It is what it is, right? It's not a game-breaking or deal-breaker, or game-breaking issue or a deal-breaker for me. It's just, yeah. Let's see, the next thing, the wall charge, I'm sure most of you will agree with this, it's fucking stupid. When I saw, shout out to one of the OG COD YouTubers, White Boy 7th Street, he made a little YouTube short that I happened to stumble across during the beta days, and when I saw it, I was like, damn, you know what? I kind of fuck with that, because he brought up a good point, is it's something that you can get campers to move. They can't just sit there. You can tank one of them, but you're going to be very weak. So you'll die to like a bullet with, how fast the TTK is. So at first, I thought it was cool, but now that people are just spamming them on repeat, they either need a nerf or just, shouldn't have been put in the game to begin with. Whatever. But, I brought up that the gunplay feels good. I brought up the fact that the guns feel fairly inconsistent. Some guns just flat out feel awful, and I mean awful, okay? The F-TAC Recon is a prime example of this. The Lockman 7.62 is literally that gun, just good, because the F-TAC, while it was for sure brutal in the beginning levels, towards the end it got a little bit better, and that's just because of attachments, but that gun fucking sucks. Point blank, cut and dry, just very simple. I don't think many of you are going to disagree with that. And the only reason I'm bringing up guns again is I want to get the mastery camo, and I'll explain why in a little bit, but I want to get the mastery camo, and it's just as that I have to grind shitty guns, or guns that just don't feel good. And I know it's like, wah, boo-hoo, you're doing something that you want to do, you don't have to do it. And I get that is completely fair. It just sucks, a little buff, little nerf here and there. The weapon balancing, again, it's a mid thing. It's something that will change and will get better over time. So be it, because, the 7.62 AK, the SPR 208, the fucking 74U especially, and there's definitely more guns that need a major nerf. It is what it is. It's first week of a new COD, so, you take the good with the bad, basically. But, yeah, going on, we have the party system. So the party system, for the most part, works. It's been worse than other launches for sure. Something that people have found out that I'm sure you guys have heard from people like Nero's, or I don't know if Espresso talked about it or anything, but yeah, the party system works fine until you start partying with 3 or more people, and I don't know if it's been fixed because I played with 4 for the first time yesterday and it worked fine. I crashed though in literally the first lobby of me and 2 of my buddies. It was our first game playing together, and my game crashed, and it was like the first time in like 2 days or something that it crashed. So I don't know, but yeah, it seems like the more people you have in your party, the worse it gets. Don't know. And then now here's some things that the community has been basically crying, and I'm not saying like whining crying, I'm just saying like they're crying because they're sick of asking for it. Disbanding lobbies is still a thing, and why is disbanding lobbies still a thing? Skill-based matchmaking. What's the problem with skill-based matchmaking? For anyone that's lived under a rock for the last couple of years, it is too damn strong. Every game benefits from having some level of skill-based, but the thing is, it is just cranked up to 1,000 in the last couple Call of Duties. Like, I'll play good one match, and then it feels like the next match, my hands got tied behind my back, and I'm playing with my feet. Like, it is bad. And look, it wouldn't be an issue for anyone if they just tweaked it a little bit, because no one is going to feel good going into a lobby and playing against kids that literally feel like bots. But at the same time, no one's going to feel good going into a lobby where it feels like you're playing against the best of the best that you could possibly have been matched against. So there has to be that fine line, and they put in some random values and just ship the game, basically. Now, this next one, it's very close to home. This one is honestly what almost made me not buy the game, and it's the fact that we are back to the stupid bullshit seasonal prestige. There is no prestige system. How they used to do this in old Call of Duties would actually give us something to grind for over the course of the game, and now they have since stripped it away and replaced it with a very awful system, because there is no reward to, I got season rank 250 last season. Like, good for you, dude. And no one gives a fuck. It's not impressive. It's not. Because when you play Warzone, guess what? Your level increases 5 times a game. The XP in Warzone is stupid as shit. So, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm, just being a crybaby, but how is there no prestige system when loadouts aren't even going to be a thing for Warzone 2? I don't know. But the thing with the prestige system is it falls perfectly in line with my very last point. And the last point that I have to make is that there just is no grindable content other than the camos. Like I said, there's no ranked play, unfortunately, and there may never be again. There's no prestige system. So, like, what? And there's no leaderboards. I forgot to throw that in. There's no leaderboards. There's no barracks. There's no combat record. Like, I don't know. I kind of agree. I forget who it was. I believe it was Nero that said it's like we're playing a fucking a play test. Like, this tech demo, basically. Because this game has such huge levels of potential, and like, I'm really hoping they achieve their potential, but man, I don't know. But yeah, that is basically my 5 days post-launch Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 review, basically. I don't know, man. I want to say I have hope for this game, but at the same time, they have let me down for years and years and years. So, yeah, here's hoping, right? Do your job, Infinity Ward. Listen to the community. And hopefully by the end of, the first year, since this is a 2-year cycle, the game feels better than it has in the last 5 years. So, with all that being said, if you guys did enjoy this review, agreed or disagreed with any points, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Leave a like or dislike on the video. And if you guys are new here, go ahead and subscribe. But with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.